Hello, Giacomo. Welcome to the show today.
Thank you. Ciao.
You will be a keynote speaker at the People Experience Conference in Zagreb that will happen on the 23rd of October 2026. You'll be talking about HR strategy, digital transformation, things like HR analytics, lots of AI involved. And that's because you are the country process owner and HR PMO of Google Italy. Is that correct, Giacomo? Did I forget anything?
No, that's correct. That's fine. We have this, idea of giving strange name in Google, but basically the role is pretty straightforward. I am responsible for the way HR processes are delivered to Googlers, and I'm responsible that those processes are running smoothly, they are efficient, and of course they are providing quality to our employees. The second piece, let's say, of my work is related to being a project manager for HR projects in Google. Basically, it is as simple as that. We have a couple of priorities every year, and I'm there to make sure that those priorities are landed and they are implemented in the country. My perimeter of scope is, of course, from hire to retire, as we call it. So, whatever is a process, an HR process, I, let's say, am responsible to make sure that it's running smoothly.
Are you also forced to use only Google tools on this life cycle, or you also work with major, well-known HR platforms out there?
We use, of course, some external solution, but we mostly rely on our internal products. That is, of course, something that, let's say, we are not only obliged to do so, but we are happy to do so because we are always, testing something new. Our technology is, of course, something that is part of the experience also as a Googler myself to discover something new. I'm curious about it. I am a tech passionate at the end of the day. So yeah, we rely a lot on Google solutions.
How did you end up at this place where you intersect technology and HR?
Basically, because I am a curious person. I believe that the most exciting, innovative ideas are exactly when there is some, let's say, intersection of different capabilities, competencies, even job families. My roles, or at least my career as of now, it has always been some degree of technology, automation, analytics, HR perspective. So the idea of being the first one to do something new, something innovative is really something that is driving me.
In certain areas, if we look back like 10 years, it seems like we are doing the same things and the same way in HR. What urgently needs to change, in your opinion?
We are living in a world that is really changing so fast that we cannot think that our static annual cycles in the way we deliver HR processes is actually fitting with what is going on. Let's think about annual performance review. Those are huge processes with a lot of burden on both people involved and the HR. And at the end of the day, the risk is that we are simply describing the past rather than supporting people's along the way, continuously talking with them about their growth, their development plan, all the months within a year. And then it becomes actually an administrative duty for everyone involved. The second thing that I think we should really change about the way we deal with HR and HR management in our organization is that we must replace rigid organizational silos when we approach skills and internal resources. Let's make the example of a new projects coming in, something, let's say, a new solution that we need to build. By default, managers are searching for external candidates to fill those gaps.
Right.
But at the end of the day, we should also looking for internal resources, internal skills and capabilities that maybe are just sitting next door or in the next department. In Google, for example, what we do is we map our people within specific, let's say, clusters of roles. Within those roles, there are skills attached, and everyone has the possibility to update their profile with their experiences and projects they worked in. In this way, we are able to map exactly what we have internally. So whenever there is a vacancy, an interesting project, or something that we think it could be like also a lever for development to others. We simply go after our own resources internally.
I'm making a joke here, but that must be like a huge Google spreadsheet.
Uh, of course, it is more appealing look-wise, but yeah, we could call it that way.
What skills will the next generation of HR leaders need that today's HR professionals may not have yet?
I strongly believe that we really need to move away from vertical skills. Let's say, of course, we need to be proficient. Let's say in our job family, but at the end of the day, what is really gonna make the difference are some skills that are beyond even the traditional HR expertise. The two skills that I really think are critical for the future are first one, being able to always keep on learning. We need to be, let's say, always on learning mode every time. The way we work is changing a lot, businesses are changing a lot, and we always need to be there to anticipate those changes. To do that, we need to have this hungry for enlarging our skill set. We always need to be there to challenge our knowledge, challenge the status quo, and be there to adapt and learn every time. The second skill that I really think is so much important is being able to thrive in ambiguity. Again, if everything is changing, there is no one size fits all. Everything it has to be challenged every time, every day.
Mhm.
We really need to feel at ease with not having all the information every time and being able to be confident in those uncertain situations because it's going to be the go to situation every time in the future. At Google, for example, we are always facing new technologies, new ways of doing our jobs, new ways of doing our workflows. And we cannot think, okay, I know it all. No, you always need to learn. You always need to challenge yourself and you always need to adapt to thrive in those ambiguity.
You also mentioned some minutes ago that what brought you to technology was your curiosity for these
Yeah,
topics, right? In your career, if you have enough intellectual curiosity and the personal drive to do and to pursue your dreams with AI, you can do whatever you want, right? You just need to have that curiosity, which
basically.
differentiates you from the regular person, which the one that doesn't want to explore, but you want to explore. There's a whole new world for you to find out there with that curiosity and that willingness. With all that curiosity, eventually with AI, with things like Gemini, agents, gems, etc., you find ways to automate tasks, right? This is broader than just HR. If you have this capability of automating things, how will this impact the way people build their careers, develop professionally? Do you
Mm.
see a change in how careers are now being walked?
Absolutely. I see it, I live it, and actually, it is part of my responsibilities at the moment in Google Italy. I believe that one of the major field where we can actually bring a lot of value with AI is how we support people to design, build their own career path, their unique career path. How is that able? Basically, in two phases. The first one is almost, let's say, a skills match engine. Let's think about this. So I am able to map my skills, my projects, my experiences, and I want to grow toward a specific job, a specific role. I will use AI to support me in filling those gaps. I want to arrive at point three. I have these capabilities. Please search within my organization these steps and the roles I should land to arrive toward my direction and my objective. And this is really reducing all these administrative tasks beyond it, all this operational burden to think about your career. And it's only freeing up time to reach out to colleagues, create those networking opportunities, understand the best projects for you, understand your own path if it's actually leading toward your goal or not. The second piece is, let's say, also the support that is able to provide to guide you through personalized learning paths. So I know I want to be there. I know that I should be exposed to specific projects, but then I have some gaps on my knowledge. How can I fill those gaps? And basically, I is able to tell you, okay, let's go there and let's focus a little bit more on this precise skill. And let's then focus on this precise skill in this other course. And I believe this is really helpful. And it's moving away from one learning path for all to my specific learning path to reach that goal. And I believe personalization is really the key word in my idea.
So much technology leads to much of data generation, right? Or HR data as well. What data cannot tell us about people?
Thank you for the question because I really believe it gives me the opportunity to speak about not only about technology but also about human in the center at the end of the day because we are HR. I believe that there are some intangibles, something that is not measurable, and it's also super important. And where that's exactly where, with the help of technology, HR could more and more focus on. I believe that the chemistry within a team, the psychological safety that is built by leaders with their team members is something that is not measurable. But at the end of the day, is creating huge impacts on results. So, as leaders, as HRs, we should be there to nurture those, for example, psychological safety within teams to make sure that everyone is thriving in that environment. Of course, the second piece is the learning agility and adaptability of people. You maybe could, let's say, had great outcomes in your current role, but then those KPIs are not telling us if you are able to even step up or take another role, which is different from the other one. So the ability of adapt again, being a learner, is something that it's really difficult to measure and being able to, let's say, objectively quantify it. The third piece is, of course, something that is actually typical of each of everyone. Our own traits, our own creativity, our own curiosity. It is really something that is not measurable. Again, being able to create good teams with all these um, people that are matching each other in a great chemistry. It is something that leaders, again, HR, again, are able to do without KPIs. So there's so much that is not within some dashboards. But again, technology, dashboards, AI, automation is freeing up time for us to focus on that, which is something that we can do as human being with our sensitivity, let's say.
Can you please give me one metric that you think that companies are paying too much attention and is not needed, and another metric where you think companies are not paying enough attention?
Maybe it's gonna be controversial. Let's say,
Let's
I
have
believe
it.
that I believe that maybe as HR department we really focused a lot on time to hire. But of course, time to hire is focusing on speed. How many days you are taking to give me this new colleague? But then we are not focusing on business impact. Maybe this person, let's say, has been chosen in 10 days, but then the performance are poor, uh, is gonna be, let's say, maybe he or she is gonna resign in 9 months, and we, let's say, need to start from the very beginning again, and we're losing time. So we should also think about quality when we hire someone because it is more painful to hire the wrong person than taking a little bit more time but hire the right person for the right job in the right moment. The second part of your question is more on what we should be focusing more on. And I believe that I'm going to focus again on the ability of teams and people to acquire new skills. We usually focus on how many learning hours you took in the last quarter. I don't know. How many courses my team took in last year. But then what is really matter is how fast you are in acquire new skills that are critical for the business because you can pile up courses, learning paths. But at the end of the day, what's matter is the speed of getting those skills into critical projects, into critical activities for the business.
Why should an HR professional attend the People Experience Conference in Zagreb?
If you are curious about the use of AI in HR, if you are curious about how we can transform career development with the use of AI.
Who will benefit the most from attending the People Experience Conference in Zagreb?
People leaders who are fascinated by how can transform career and development in their organization, owning the development of people, and anyone who's actually curious about the implementation of technology in HR.
What will HR leaders miss if they don't attend the People Experience Conference in Zagreb happening this October?
They are going to miss what Google is doing in the subject of career development.
What is one practical insight that people will take away from your session at the People Experience Conference happening in Zagreb this October?
AI and technology is just an enabler for human transformation.
Everyone that comes into the show, Giacomo, in the end, I like to ask for a recommendation. Who would you like to recommend?
I think I can recommend to people that I work with, and they are super passionate about HR and also technology applied to the HR management, Federica Saletta and also Ilaria Franchin. They both work for EY Ernst Young in Italy.
Challenge accepted. Just a final reminder, I've left on the video description all the links needed for you to reach out to Giacomo, as well as to register in the People Experience Conference in Zagreb if you're interested, or if you just want to know more details about the event.
Thank you, Joao.
Goodbye.